Our Heroes, a look at the history of the military in Presque Isle. I'm Sean Cunningham. I'm here at the Fairmount Cemetery in Presque Isle. Let's learn why this place is so dear to so many families of veterans. Established by local businessmen in 1864 and located south of Presque Isle, the Fairmount Cemetery overlooks the University of Maine at Presque Isle's campus. It is the largest cemetery in northern Maine and encompasses more than 30 acres of beautiful rolling land. It is the home to more than 6,000 burials. Of this number, more than 700 were veterans dating as far back as the Civil War, attracting thousands of visitors and tourists and family members from local and far away every year. The cemetery is an important piece of Aroostook County history. The cemetery is well maintained and managed by the Fairmount Cemetery Association. Now let's talk to Karen Worcester, the CEO of Wreaths across America, and learn how they honor veterans all year long. But before we land into the new year, we're gearing up for what will be your busy season. Tell us about the success of Wreaths across America this year and what you guys are expecting for the holiday season.
Well, the success of Wreaths across America is very heartening, especially while we're coming into an election and people can't agree on anything. What they can agree on in this country is the importance of honoring our veterans. And it is because of the volunteerism, the spirit of the American people that Wreaths Across America grows. You know, we started as just an idea of a family saying thank you. And literally when people found out what we were doing, they came to us. And this organization has been lifted up on the ideas and the spirit of those volunteers. So what started as a family gift of 5,000 wreaths in 1992, and we just had a board meeting, and I can tell you I actually wrote the number down so I wouldn't get it wrong. As of last week, we now have 4,695 locations across the country, and that's 590 added for this year alone.
That's and amazing, and congratulations on that. That's huge.
It's crazy, and the other piece of that is that we have 7,027 sponsorship groups, or people that go out in local communities to get the sponsorships and do the work of putting the ceremony together and making sure that nobody gets left out. And that's an addition of 743 groups this year alone. So the communities build it, and we stay true to the mission, remember, honor, teach, and they care, and that's how it grows.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing program, and what a great way to give back. Talk for those that may not understand or may not realize, how important is the program that you do to honor, to recognize, to teach, and to remember our veterans, both living and those who've given the ultimate sacrifice?
Well, it's so important, and it's a mission that is a year-round mission. And a lot of people, they tend to think of us this time of year, but I am so proud of the other programs that keep us going year-round. Our Teach program, which has grown so much, is headed by a Gold Star mother, Cindy Tatum, retired teacher, and that has grown this year. She has brought in other people that we work with, and not the least things that we do. We're doing a series with the Library of Congress, reaching out to all over the country with them to show people how to gather stories of veterans to pass on to kids. We have downloadable free curriculum on Teacher Pay Teacher that's based on principles around freedom and responsibility and patriotism, and it's taken off so fast that we're doing all we can do just to keep up with it. And we work with the Medal of Honor Society and Ike Eisenhower Foundation and so many others, American Gold Star Mothers, and we share their education materials. American Legion Auxiliary, we share their materials. So working together, we have a mobile education exhibit which travels all over the country. One of our partners for that has been the 50th commemorative of the Vietnam War, where we pin and welcome home veterans all over the country and talk about it. And our radio station has had 2 shout outs from the VA just recently. We have 75 veteran-centric podcasts where we bring to the communities and the country places where all aspects of the military community and their families can get the help that they need. So working with other organizations. And we believe strongly that a rising tide floats all boats. all those 75, most of them participate in what we call our $5 back program. A lot of people don't know about this, that if they are a sponsorship group and they go out and get a re-sponsorship in their community, $5 of that sponsorship goes back to their 501c3, their
Wow.
VSO.
It's
And
amazing. I
we
mean,
give
you guys are busy. I mean, you're just thinking about all of the let's kind of reshift and talk. Let's talk about that.
Well, I just want to get in that
Collaborations.
can I just say that we've given to date, we've given back to these other VSOs to use for veterans and people in their communities over $25 million. And all these programs you can find on the website. And that gets me a little excited, sorry.
No, that's more than enough reason to be excited. But let's talk about those collaborations, all the collaborations you've just mentioned. How amazing is that?
I just love it. And I think it's when you work together, because if you really want to remember, honor, and teach, it would be disingenuous not to work with other people and also to learn from other people. Most of us remember when we were growing up, especially in small communities in Maine, that if somebody was in need, even if they weren't a veteran, it was the American Legion or the VFW, and people came together and helped each other. And so I think we have to look at it that way and not compete with each other as VSOs and support groups, but how we can each share what we have. One of the things that other organizations come to from us is that we have this hyper local reach. So we have now over 4,600 people in little communities in Maine. So if they need to get a message out, we give it directly to somebody we communicate with. They get that news out in a local community. Mm-hmm. So we can mobilize, we can move people quickly, and we're willing to do that to help another VSO or another community organization that has a need. And it's served us well and it's served them well.
How can we kind of reshift that platforms into the next question, talking about Maine and here in Aroostook County? Where do you see and how have the programs here in this particular community grown?
Well, it's surprising. I think they've done a great job. I think 3 cemeteries that I can think of, but I know there's a lot of people that are working together. On a Flight works on some of those cemeteries up there in the county. I think CAP and high schools, and I know the Maine Agri women used to work I haven't talked to my friends up there. I'm Maine Agri women, so I haven't talked to them in a little bit, but everybody comes together. And what I love about Wreaths Across America, it's a national program, but it's very personal because it's those people in the local communities that want to make sure that a wreath goes on the grave and that the name is spoken out loud, and that the local kids are taken out into those cemeteries to learn a bit about their history. So I'm really proud of those communities. But I will say this, it doesn't have to be a state or national cemetery. So anybody that's listening that wants to see their cemetery in Maine honored, they can go online and sign up on wreathsacrossamerica.org. And even if they think it's too late to get sponsorships this year, the organization, in fact, the founder, my husband, will donate a set of ceremonial wreaths so that they can have a ceremony. That's a wreath for each branch of the military, one for missing in action, POW, and to have a service so that they can at least remember the people in their community. So they can still sign up and get involved, because wherever there's a veteran buried, we want to be there saying their name and placing a wreath.
I think it's also great how you just mentioned about taking your young ones to the cemetery. Why is that important? Whether you take them that or the programs that you do in the classroom, kind of educating youngsters. Why is that important?
Well, I think, people will usually ask me, well, why is it important to take care of veterans? And that's the obvious. We need to remember what they've done, and we need to meet their needs, because so many, and not just elderly veterans, people, younger veterans who might be suffering from injuries or PTSD. And that's important as a community that we do that. The less than 1% now take care of the 99%. But the most important thing that we can do for those veterans is to make sure that the freedom that they've secured is not only to make our kids appreciate having it, but to understand the responsibility that comes with freedom. So that when those kids, if they're ever, God forbid, but if they are called upon to go and fight for freedom, they understand that there was skin in the game. And for the next generation and the next generation to have it, we need to teach kids the real cost of freedom. Make it a personal thing. When you stand at a grave, with a kid and you say, this is so-and-so, whether he died an old veteran or he was killed when he was 18, that he died protecting you. Will you love your country enough to protect the next generation? So I think that teaching the kids is the most important thing that we can do for the living veterans.
What's next after the holiday season passes? What's next for you all? What does the rest of the year look like for you?
Well, give me a minute. No, we hit the ground running, and we'll be announcing probably the end of December. We'll be announcing another theme for next year, and then, like I said, the Teach program. And we do a lot of events all over the country with a lot of people. Like I said, we do events with the DAR, the Library of Congress. We go all over the place. Our radio station travels to many events all over the country, to wherever they're honoring veterans and teaching. So we've got a pretty busy schedule already, looking into next year. And my staff gets a little bit of a breather, about 2 days, and then we go. But I will tell you, the volunteers keep us going. The stories, everybody in this building can tell you a story that brought them to tears. Not always sad stories. The motivation that I get every day, I have now probably 35, 40 close friends who are Gold Star mothers that are my age, whose kids that they buried at the age of my children. And that their love for this country, they don't come in here moping. They come in here beaming with love and pride for this country. And if they that have given the most, that have just given so that we can live free can do that, then it's an honor and a responsibility for us to go out and teach people. You know, I quote him, you probably heard me say this before, Roger Donlin, who we lost this last year, and had the honor of going to his funeral, very good friends. But I asked him, he was also the first Medal of Honor recipient for the Vietnam War. Incredible man. Yeah. And I asked him one day, Roger, what's the most important thing that Wreaths Across America can do? He didn't bat an eye. And this always makes me emotional. He said, we got to teach our kids to love this country. Yeah. And get them anywhere you can, where they're with these families, where they're with veterans, where they're with, Medal of Honor recipients, with anybody that served, anybody and teach them, instill in them a willingness to serve themselves. Because the people who serve other people, whether it's here or serving for another cause, they tend to be the people who are the happiest and most centered. So find a spirit to serve and let's get it done.
Yeah. Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We so appreciate every year, I have to say, and every year when we catch up, you're doing bigger and bigger and bigger, and you guys were already doing bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you so much for everything you continue to do, for all the collaborations and how you truly make a difference. Everyone talks about an honor project. Clearly, this is yours, and it's a calling. Thank you.
Thank you.
My thanks to all the people that we've talked to throughout this series. And mostly we want to say thank you to all our veterans and our military service members for all that you've done and all you continue to do. For honoring our heroes, I'm Sean Cunningham. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.